The internet has given black men a voice that gets louder every year. More black male media fronts are popping up. More YouTube channels and independent bloggers are surfacing. And when you think about black men's voices, we think of it as a heterosexual voice. And just like when you think of the manosphere, you think of it as being largely white, largely heterosexual, dealing with the needs of the heterosexual male. But in contrast to the white manosphere, and as the black manosphere is evolving in its own right, we too are looked at as a group of men who have only heterosexual desires. We speak on the behavior of women, the deceit of women. And in many cases, we're talking about our own women that are in our black communities. But we got to understand that the black community is so multifaceted. The black community is just not the ghetto. The black community is just not Christian. The black community is just not heterosexual. The black community is middle class. The black community is also upper class. The black community is highly educated. The black community is poorly educated. The black community is Muslim. The black community is atheist. The black community is Hotep. The black community is traditional African religion. The black community is atheist. The black community is heterosexual. The black community is bisexual. And the black community encompasses homosexuals. And with that being said, brothers, the question to you: should gay black men have a voice in the black manosphere? Now, the person who posed this question first was none other than Obsidian Media Ali. You know him as the Obsidian Media Network or the Obsidian Radio Podcast, or simply Mumia Ali, the blogger. We had a Manosphere Summit on BGS Ibmore's channel, and the idea he proposed is that we offer the olive branch to gay black men. And me being one of the players in the manosphere, as far as administrating behind the scenes and trying to take the brothers' voices outside of YouTube, I kind of was scared when he said that, for fear of not my own beliefs. And I'm not going to share that with you here on my podcast. I believe if you know me personally, you know what those beliefs are, if you've heard me mention it before. But for fear of how other men would receive it. We got to understand, brothers, regardless of if you agree with homosexuality or not, gay black men have been through the same things you've been through. Many of them have been raised by single mothers. Many of them have been abused, be it sexually, be it emotionally, being physically. Many of them possibly wish they had an alternative to live the heterosexual life. And while heterosexuality may come normal to you, for them it may not have been, because of whatever circumstances they grew up under. And so these men who probably watch these videos, who could agree to you of what they have been through, feel that they are not welcome based off of their own sexuality. Now, to be fair, and I hope not to ruffle any feathers with this, but we have some brothers who might be homosexual that comment all the time under posts, but for fear of rejection and kicking out of the manosphere, they act like they are not homosexual. This is what you would call a down low brother, one who acts as if he is with the heterosexual ideologies. He may even have a wife. He may even have a kid. But deep down, that brother has no interest in women at all. His interest is women. Wouldn't it shake your mind to know that the guy that comments under your YouTube page, or the guy who sends you a donation, or the guy who befriends you on Facebook that you met on YouTube is gay? It's a startling thing. It's an interesting thing. It's a mind-blowing thing. But, brothers, the question is, where does gay black men fit into the manosphere? I hear objection right now from somebody speaking saying, listen, I don't have any problems with gays or gay people, but we do not want gay black men to bring the flamboyancy over into the manosphere. We don't want that. It's something that we want to stay away from. We don't want them to turn this movement into their own, to spin it until their own. They have their own movement as a gay man or a gay woman. They have their own rights, their own agenda. Why would they be interested in ours? That is a very fair point. But somebody could then argue that, well, gay people come in different shapes and sizes. Gay black men are not all the same. Like the black community is not all the same. Gay people or gay men in general can be very multifaceted. You have gay men who are not flamboyant acting. You have the gay men who are masculine acting. You have many men who do not personify the image of what you would consider to be soft or to be flamboyant. The issue is, do we allow brothers of different experiences, different religions, different ideologies, or even a different sexual preference to stand along with us in their voice against the system of oppression and of the system of the matriarchy? Because believe it or not, there are many people who are of the homosexual lifestyle that do not agree with many of the policies, many of the things, the matriarchal system that runs the black community. You would be surprised at how many people, regardless of their sexual preference, are against what is currently going on. A good example of that would be Milo Yiannopoulos, the brilliant ex-editor of Breitbart, a homosexual himself, flamboyant, was actually against many gay rights, which was very interesting. I guess you could attribute that to like a black person being against Black History Month, like Stacey Dash, but nevertheless, this was the case. And so, are we missing a big opportunity by shunning the voices of gay black men in the manosphere? The world is changing. This is something that we got to understand. I made a podcast about that with regards to the Republican Party. They are trying to stay the same. The world is instantly changing, constantly evolving. People are different. Ideas are different. Sexual preferences are different. And does one's opinion, does one's ability waver due to sexual preference. Is their contribution still not enough? And that is something, as a big player in the Negro Manosphere or in the Black Manosphere, I am still yet undecided. I'm undecided. And I wanted to pose this question to you. In the comments, brothers, I do not want to have anybody calling any vile names. We have reporters. If you comment anything derogatory, your comments can be flagged for hate speech. This video will not be flagged for hate speech because simply it's not. It's a question, but for those of you who have nothing to say that is positive, all of that slander, we will remove those comments on this particular podcast. And the reason why is we do not want any brothers getting reported for hate speech comments. This is a video that needs to be made. It's a very controversial topic. So if you disagree with what what this is saying, you can disagree in a very hospitable way. You know that companies like YouTube, Facebook, and the entire world, if you talk bad about protected groups, you put yourself out there to be flagged, to be kicked off of YouTube, all of these things. So I ask you that if you're going to comment, use your head. Think about what you're going to say. Let us not be commenting using vile language towards particular groups. The only reason why I'm doing this video is for the sake of discussion, because this is a video that I feel needs to be done. I got this idea from Obsidian, and once again, I, as a person, am stuck in between both facets. I can see the advantageous ideas, but I definitely see a lot of defeat. Me first. I definitely see some problems with them in the manosphere. I can also see some benefits too. But how do you feel, brothers? I'd like to know what you have to say. Once again, I like to thank all of you for your constant support of what we're doing here on this channel and at the Negro Manosphere at large. You're the reason why the website has garnered over 300,000 views since January of this year. We have over 160 posts. We post daily. I want to give a shout out to Gabrielle, a new writer, wrote an excellent blog on engineering and STEM degrees. I want to give a shout out to Josh Salito, who just published a new blog today for the finance section. I just want to thank everybody for supporting me monetarily, because you are the reasons why we are able to pay brothers at the Negro Manosphere, at the Black Juggernaut, to write and do what they do. Continue to support us. Support us by liking the videos. Support us by sharing the videos. Support us by telling everybody. Support us by emailing me. Dropping your email and letting us know that you would like to be a part. Not only subscribing, but reading the negromanosphere.com every day. Great information. That information is for free. The brothers have put out the money for you to get that information. It's for black men everywhere across the world. It's written for you, a magazine that is only for you and other men who are interested in our ilk, in our issues, in the derogatory things that people have said about us, with lack of building our own resources, our own media. We are doing just that. So thank you in advance. Thank you for those who have done well. Keep on keeping on. I'll be back a little bit later on today. As you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. Also, subscribe to my third channel. It's in the comment section, O'Shea Duke Jackson 2. Okay? Again, O'Shea Duke Jackson 2. It's a new channel with no subscribers. First comment, you click on the video that I have there and subscribe to it. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I'm out.